Hello, friends. Hope you enjoy my speech. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. Not wholly or entirely, but in substantial measure. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India shall awaken to life and freedom. A moment comes, which comes but rarely in history, when an age ends from the old to the new, and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. It is unto this moment that I give this pledge to India and her people, and above all, the greater cause of humanity. These words were said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru at the midnight of independence on 15th August 1947, who was a lawyer, a freedom fighter, and the first Prime Minister of India on 15th August 1947. Thank you. Also, Indian independence was got through a lot of difficulties, lot of sacrifices. People had laid down their lives. People from the SCs, the STs, the OBCs, the Dalits, the Chamars, the Yadavs, everybody, people from every nook and corner of society, including women, worked hard so that our independence could have been a reality. In case we are here today, we are all on the shoulders of these stalwarts. The 249 members of the Constituent Assembly, composing of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Krishnakant, T. T. Krishnamachari, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, B. N. Rao, also not forgetting also not forgetting Justice Sachidananda Sinha. Everybody had contributed for our Indian independence. Our constitution was enacted on the 26th of November 1949, where in the preamble itself it says that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. It itself says that we Indians had sought to choose the form of governance that India is sovereign. That is, we are free from external control. We follow the principles of socialism. We are secular. That is, there is no particular state religion. If you see in any country in the world, basically, United Kingdom, the state religion is Christianity. USA, though a secular state in theory, practically whenever the President of the United States takes oath, he takes an oath on the Lincoln's Bible. The Middle East countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Maldives, and also Malaysia, Singapore, have their state religion as Islam. Bhutan, Sri Lanka have their state religion as Buddhism. Nepal has the state religion as Hinduism. India, though 83% of the people are Hindus, they are in the majority. Yet, at the framing of the constitution, our founding fathers decided to keep India as a secular state. People of all faiths can exist in India. It is in such a way framed that under the 42nd Amendment 1976 that was added by the then Indira Gandhi government, socialist and secular were added to the preamble. The preamble itself was inspired by the French Revolution. That is why the concepts like justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all, fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation, all put together were inspired from the French Revolution, the storming of the Bastille, and which led to a series of events that ultimately led to the execution of King Louis XVI of the Bourbon family and his queen Marie Antoinette. That is why our Indian constitution has a comparative study from the various constitutions in the world. Parliamentary system of democracy, bicameralism, separation of powers. No, parliamentary system of democracy, bicameralism, rule of law are the concepts that have been borrowed from United Kingdom. Separation of powers. The written constitution is fundamental rights, which was in the Bill of Rights, is inspired from the USA Constitution. Directive principles of state policy is inspired from Ireland. Fundamental duties is inspired from USSR. Concurrent list is inspired from Australia. The concept of the impeachment procedure of the president and the idea of the president to be the supreme commander of the armed forces is also inspired from the POTUS, that is the President of the United States. Also, not forgetting the idea where all the lists and the parliament's power, the parliamentary supremacy, unlike the presidential form of government, is what we have copied from Britain. On the other hand, it is also observed that any person who is a member of the cabinet of the prime minister should be a member of the lower house of parliament. As we have seen in Britain, all the members who report of the cabinet, who report to the then Prime Minister, whether Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron, Theresa May, or now Boris Johnson, are all members of House of Commons, or in some cases, House of Lords. And they have to report to the House. And in case on failure of any cabinet member to answer any question regarding the House, that is when the Prime Minister, who is the head of the cabinet and is also an MP, can answer on behalf of any of his ministers. Whereas in a presidential form of government, the one adopted, who has been appointed by the president in any field, whether it's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, whether it's the Ministry of Finance, Defense, Trade, Commerce, Science and Technology, Education, Healthcare, Media Advisory, Law, Telecommunications, they have to respond directly to the president. They are not answerable either to the Senate or to the House of Representatives. The principle of checks and balances, that is, the separation of power by Montesquieu, is seen in a stricter sense in USA, where the president, the legislature, the Congress, and the judiciary are mutually exclusive, and there is no chance of interference of any part organ over the other. It was said that the then president of the United States, Mr. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, wanted to pass a bill to allow blacks to vote and also to allow them admissions in all educational institutions, but he could not get the support of the Congress. In case of proceedings regarding impeachment of the president, the Congress has a check over the powers of the president. Also, in case any member of the Congress is found guilty of any offense, the president can have that person removed. Also, the president has the veto over the judiciary on appointment of the judges and the chief justice of the judiciary. Also, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and the brother judges have a power to initiate contempt proceedings against the president. Therefore, they follow separation of powers in a very strict way, and the Roman law system, which was in the United Kingdom, has come to the United States as well. In the United States, everyone say, "We, the people of America, swear that we will make America great again." Yesterday, the president elect, Sri Joe Biden, said that we promise to make in America as a united nation. We make America win to stand the test of time. What all the activists have fought over 108 years, where initially blacks were all the women blacks were finding it were protesting on the streets of the um, Senate about having their right to vote. After 108 years, in 1912, now it is 2020, there is a first Asian African woman to head the White House as in the capacity of the Vice President of United States of America, that is Miss Kamala Harris. Not forgetting, this is the same country where the then President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, said, "Ask not what the country shall do for you, but ask what you shall do for the country." Is so much in tune with our dharma. Our dharma, Ram Rajya, the idea of a utopian state where everything is in order, where everything is in peace, where everything is in stability. Thereby, I wish America all the best under the aegis of Mr. Joe Biden. We have a long way to go. It is during this time that even our Prime Minister, Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji, has given a congratulatory message to Mr. Joe Biden. To Mr. Joe Biden, the First Lady of State Jill Biden, and to the outgoing Vice President Mr. Mike Pence. To all of you, you had a very nice, very gracefully conducted program yesterday. And not forgetting when the President said any differences of opinion should be diversity and should not end in adversity. The voice of the people has been restored, democracy has been restored, and everything has been in tune with truth, honesty, and peace has won. To conclude this, I would like to end it with the poem by Sri Rabindranath Tagore, Where the Mind is Without Fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world is not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into thy ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. With that, I have created a new poem which I would like to say, whereby I am giving the new dawn as the hope for a new future for those battling the COVID 19 pandemic and keeping in the ideal democracies by the oldest democracy of the United States of America, started by Mr. George Washington, to the ideals of our founding fathers, that is the democracy of India. I would like to state my poem in this way. Hope you all like it. The New Dawn. The rising of the sun symbolizes the awakening of dawn, where new hopes arise and the past is gone. The morning brings new joys, it brings new aspirations, it brings new hopes and makes us proceed forward with an inspiration. To excel in life, we should be in the present and move on, for new joys and hopes arise at the awakening of dawn. To excel in life, we should forget the past and let bygones be bygone, for only if we do so can we excel and move on. I pray to the Almighty to help me to forget my woes. I pray to the Almighty to help me forget my woes. I should be in a position to forgive all my friends and foes. So I pray to God to give me the energy to move on, for new joys and hopes arise at the awakening of dawn. This I would like to end it with a short way poem by Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, which is said as ऊंचाई. ऊंचे ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर पेड़ नहीं उगते, पौधे नहीं उगते हैं, ना घास ही जमती है तो सिर्फ बर्फ, जो कफन की तरह सफेद और मौत की तरह ठंडी होती है. मेरे प्रभु, मुझे इतनी ऊंचाई कभी मत देना, गैरों को गले ना लगा सकूं, इतनी रूखाई मुझे कभी मत देना. थैंक यू.